Can you let me know, can you see the presentation?
We can see it, yes.
Okay, great. So hi everyone. Yeah, happy to be here. My name is Anastasiia Glebova, and I'm working as a development manager at KONE in Finland. And KONE is a leading company in the elevator and escalator industry. And I have my background. I have two degrees, one from Finland in industrial engineering and management, and one from Russia, where I originally coming from St. Petersburg. And I have been working about 6 years in operations development and analytics. So what topic I will be presenting today, it's related to the process mining, and it's how we are analyzing and improving the operations. So a little bit different topic from the previous speech, but also very inspiring that AI affects so many sectors in our life, including this development of the process that is my topic. And I'm working currently at KONE on building this process mining capability globally. I will tell you more about this process mining topic, and then we will cover a little bit how AI affects and adds to the process mining. And myself, I'm very interested in sports analytics, process development, and entrepreneurship. And a little bit 3 interesting facts about me. So I'm really enthusiastic about sports. I will be doing my first triathlon during this year. Then I have been doing a lot of music also, playing a guitar and also Russian instrument, balalaika, for 17 years. And then I'm living here in Finland, and Finland is very famous for its lakes, and I really enjoy working here in Finland, and because the nature is really inspiring me. And I'm happy to connect with you in LinkedIn, and also to learn how you are using AI and have a chat with you. So please don't hesitate to connect with me. And then about the topic. What is process mining? So the definition that I took a part of the definition from Wikipedia is that process mining is a data science and process management techniques for improving or helping to support analysis of operational processes based on event logs from IT systems. And the main goal of process mining is to turn even data into these insights and actions for improving our businesses. So then about this picture, if you can see on the right side, so this is one of the processes where what processes we are talking about here. You can name a lot of processes at the company, for example, how we purchase the materials, or from the company where I'm working from, how we deliver elevators to our customers, how we maintain elevators, how do we sell. So there are plenty of processes at the companies, and there are systems like CRM systems and ERP systems that and many other systems that are taking this event log data when we are working with the systems, and we can, with process mining, extract this data. And you can see once we are using this technology, it's very visually shows us how this is process performed, how many cases are going through each step, are there any kind of loops back, any wastes in the processes, are there let's say how many cases are going through each of those steps, how long delays are or lead times in the process. So there are many data that you can gather from the process execution. And how we used to actually do this process analysis. So 5 years ago, I think, when I worked on this process analysis, trying to understand what can be improved. So we have been using this more traditional approach of going to the people and asking them how you actually do your work. And then you collect a lot of opinions from people, trying to map the processes, trying to calculate how long does it take each step. And this is quite a time consuming, but also very subjective approach, because it's very opinion centric. When this process mining, it's very data centric, and this will be very revolutionary in this, or already is in this process development area, because we can see how the processes are executed based on the data, not based on the opinions. Of course, we can validate then certain phenomena that we see, let's say, regarding the lead times with the people, but more or less we get this data from the systems. And then where this process mining is used, or why do we need it? So there are at least these 4 areas: process discovery, compliance, automation, and monitoring. And now I will tell you more about each of those. So about the process discovery, the main goal of in my role, or any process development role, is to find inefficiencies, bottlenecks in the processes, and to remove those. So to improve our process. So this process mining helps to identify these wastes in the process and bottlenecks. Are there additional steps? Are there let's say long lead times, bottlenecks, some queuing in some particular step in the process? So these kind of things that we can discover with the process mining. Then about compliance. So we used to identify how our process should be operating. You know, the steps that first you should do this, second you should you should, for example, create a purchase order. Then you have to perform this good received, and so on. So this kind of steps that we document, and there is little transparency of actually how these processes are performed in the company. So we define those to understand and to improve our process. We need to understand also, are we compliant? Do we perform according to the ways of working we have defined? So the process mining, it also helps us to compare this defined processes, of how we designed the processes to be executed, to how they are executed currently. And we can see the violations, the top violations to our design processes, and then work on improving it. Then third area is automation. So as you know that, let's say 10 years ago, the famous was automating the factory operation. So now I think a lot of automation went a lot forward, and we are looking also about automating quite a lot of office jobs, some repetitive tasks like finance, reporting, purchasing. So this automation application of process mining helps us to identify then how many steps of the process are run by person, how many are executed automatically by bots, for example, then to identify which are repetitive tasks that can be potentially automated, high volume, let's say, very routine tasks, and that are of high cost. So that is a good area as well to identify these opportunities for automation. And then finally is monitoring. So it means that we can follow up on our processes, how they executed, and act on the issues before even they can happen. Let's say that's where AI takes place, for example, predictions. And we can not only analyze the historical performance, but identify the issues or potential issues in the real time with the process. And process mining can work and extract the data and analyze it in the real time. These are current applications, and then what I would like to tell you about is actually how AI can adapt to process mining, or how we are using or potentially could use the AI in process improvements. So there are 3 areas, at least currently. Clustering analysis, this predictive analysis, and prescriptive analysis. I can tell you that the process mining as such, it's based on more or less on the data mining techniques and these visual techniques. Then about the AI, that more or less the machine learning a lot is used, because this is all about the data. And some particular examples, let's say this, starting with clustering. So what it means that when we take the data from the systems, we can actually, if you can see this on the right side, reality. There is a lot of data and complexity is quite high. So as these processes are still mainly analyzed by the persons, we need as much help from the technology to highlight us important patterns in the data. So that's where clustering is used for grouping, for example, together similar cases into clusters. And I can give you here a particular example from the QPR. So you can see that on the left side, there is this process. So starts with sales order creation, picking down, then customer picks the order somewhere, delivery completed, confirmed delivery date, invoice created, and payment received. So this the process here presented, and we look at this customer pickup, and we would like to understand, okay, what products are actually picked up by customers, and which products are, let's say, delivered then to the address. Then we can see, particularly in this customer pickup, then more details and understand what exactly are these cases. So the clusters are grouping the products or some attributes of the data together to show us like biggest clusters. And in this case, you can see that, for example, cluster 1, 35% of all the cases are related to shoes, women's shoes that are picked up then by a customer. Then a second biggest group is 26% of the cases are men from New York that are picking up. So you can see that it combines a lot of different attributes, and it helps us to understand what exactly the data we have in particular process steps. So that's where clustering is used. Then about this predictive analysis. So this is very interesting that we, like I said, we don't only look at the historical data, but we would like, with the process development, look also forward. And what it means that we, for example, these bottlenecks. So what means bottleneck is that when for example, process slows down in a particular step due to lack of, let's say, persons working in this particular step or high workload. So this bottlenecks means that, and prediction for the bottleneck means with specific case and circumstances. The process mining can highlight us that these particular cases, for example, we will have a certain bottlenecks. Then the prediction also, we can predict what would be the next task after, for example, after customer picked up the goods, let's say this woman's shoes, right? With the certain attributes that we have related to this particular case, we can predict what would be the next step. For example, will the customer return or not the good? So this prediction of the next task. Then process final outcome. So that can be related, process final outcome can related, for example, to delays, that with certain circumstances will this delivery that is not yet delivered, will it be coming on time or will be delayed? So that we can do with machine learning and prediction. Then we can also calculate for the processes then predicting what are the needed resources in the future, let's say, for particular process steps or processes. And finally, we can understand, let's say, the same example about the final outcome that is delay or not delayed. So we can understand what really impacts, what are the key variables impacting then the outcome, will the order be delayed or not delayed. So that's about predictive analysis. And then this prescriptive analysis, this is really something that I think quite a lot for many companies still in the future, is to take the decisions with AI in the real time. And this can be, for example, next best action. So with the particular circumstances, for example, to eliminate the bottlenecks or to deliver the final outcome on time, that it would provide us the information of what would be right now my best action then to avoid, let's say, this negative outcomes in the real time, and also prioritizing for me certain activities, highlighting those. So then another one is that it will propose, let's say, me as a manager, certain department recommendations for resourcing of the processes. Should I increase now resources in the particular task? Are some of the tasks or processes that have too many persons working on it? Should I move them from this particular process to another, maybe a part of organization where we are more in need of resourcing? So very interesting, this especially this future use cases where AI takes a lot to help us understand and analyze this data in the real time and much faster than we can actually, for example, in the process development department, realize by ourselves. So combining these two, I would say, three aspects: this process mining, this AI with this real-time analysis, and then human judgment, that actually really powerful for improving the processes. So I now see that this will be very kind of likely that this process development will really shift into this more data-driven approach. This compliance audits or audits process development actions will be much more like relied on the data-driven approach, much more than on these workshops or interviews with people. And also we will be more proactive in more efficient, effective, and proactive in handling the issues than currently. We more maybe analyzing it historical data more than acting in a current situation with using AI. Yeah, that's about my presentation. Just wanted to share you that this is very exciting, disruptive technologies that are coming to the business world as well. That yeah, very interesting to work with those and transfer the businesses with this kind of technologies.
Thank you, Anastasia. It was really interesting. So anyone has any questions for Anastasia now? No one? Well, maybe people are being shy. Maybe they can ask questions on our Slack channel later. I think Anastasia will be available to answer your questions there. And now a couple of announcements. Next week on the 7th, we won't have our usual speeches because it will be Study Jam 2.0. If anyone wants to host a speech or volunteer, please contact Shazad or other organizers, please. And we'll be back on the 14th, which will be the last weekend of our scholarship on the first phase. And I guess that, on the 13th, maybe I'll share the schedule with you. Now, on the 13th, you have our group presentation day where each group, each study group will share what they've done during this first phase. So you're all welcome to join in. We'll be using this Zoom link, and we hope we'll see every one of you there. Now, thank you, Anastasia. I believe Evie is not here on the Zoom call anymore. So if anyone has any questions for our speakers today, please do it so on our Slack channel. And thank you everyone for being here today again, and see you on our next events. And happy learning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.